What are you doing right now? And I mean, genuinely, is this really where you thought your life would be a few years ago? Do you feel proud of the person you're becoming? Or have you just been moving from one day to another, hoping things eventually start making sense? Because I think a lot of us do that. We wait. We wait for the right moment, the right opportunity, the right version of ourselves to finally appear. We wait for people to understand us. We wait for life to slow down for a second so we can finally breathe. But somehow, while we're sitting there waiting, life just keeps moving anyway. Days turn into months, months turn into years, and one day you wake up and realize nothing actually changed. Not because you're lazy, not because you're weak, but because somewhere along the way you got too comfortable waiting for motivation, waiting for clarity, waiting for somebody to tell you exactly what to do with your life. And after a while, you start realizing something that's honestly a little painful to accept. Nobody is really coming to save you. Not in the way you imagined, at least. Nobody suddenly arrives and fixes your habits. Nobody pulls you out of your own head. Nobody magically gives you discipline or purpose or direction. And look, that's not supposed to make you feel hopeless. If anything, I think it's supposed to wake you up a little, because the moment you stop expecting somebody else to change your life, you start looking at yourself differently. You start realizing that maybe even after all the mistakes, even after all the wasted time, you still have some control over where your life goes from here. And maybe that's the part nobody really tells you. Your life usually changes the moment you stop waiting for it to change on its own. Not in some huge dramatic way, just slowly, quietly. You start taking chances you would have avoided before. You apply for that job you keep telling yourself you're not ready for. You go to that interview even though your mind keeps saying you'll fail anyway. You finally text that person you've been wanting to talk to for months. You start saying what you actually feel instead of hiding everything inside your head. And I think once you realize that, you stop putting other people above yourself so much. You stop waiting for permission to become better. You stop thinking you need to suddenly become some perfect version of yourself overnight. Because real change is usually boring. It's waking up and trying again. And yeah, sometimes things still won't work out. Sometimes you'll embarrass yourself. Sometimes you'll fail. But at least you'll finally know you tried. Because honestly, most regret doesn't come from failing. It comes from standing still for too long. From watching your own life pass by while you sit there overthinking every possible outcome. And I think people underestimate how much their life can change once they simply decide to move. And maybe nobody's coming to save you, but that's actually a good thing because it means your life is still in your hands. And no matter how stuck things feel right now, you still have time to change where your story goes next.